Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live stream. I'm here with Alicia McNamara, and she is going to be crafting with you today. And I'm so excited to see what she comes up with. This is all a part of a little bit of a hype for the summit that's coming up for January 29th is the start date. And so we thought we'd do a few crafty sessions this week to kind of get us in the crafty mood and get us into crafting. So I'm so looking forward to crafting together during the summit. But today I'm going to leave you up to our guest instructor. I'm going to bring her on screen now. All right. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Now it's working.
Hi Justine, sorry. Just making sure all of this technology is set up. I hope everybody can hear me okay, and welcome. Welcome to my live, and I'm so happy that you're here, and I hope you're getting really excited about the summit that's coming up, the Card Making Stash Summit. Now, this is such an exciting event for card makers all over the world. It's just a place online where you can come together with your crafting friends and with other crafters, and you can learn from, there's like, I think 29 classes that are coming to you. This is all free with a free ticket, and you can interact with other crafters on the Facebook group. And the Card Making Stash Summit, is all about using up your stash. And we as crafters have lots and lots of stash in our craft room. Now, I'm in my craft room right now. My name is Alicia. I live on the Gold Coast in Australia, and I love to craft. And you might notice my craft room's a little bit, I share my craft room. It's not just a craft room space, it's actually a tutoring space as well, because I do tutoring for kids. So it's a shared space, and lots of us have shared craft room spaces where we might have, a craft desk in a bedroom or at the back of a lounge room or whatever. So it's okay to have a shared craft space, but wherever your craft space is, you most likely have lots and lots of stash that you would happily use up. And I know that is the case for me. I have lots of stash down on this side of the craft room and on this side here. And, I often think, wouldn't it be lovely to use that up? So today we are going to be doing that. We're going to be doing some stash busting. And I've got some things on my desk here that I'd like to show you. What we're going to be using today is a couple of different things. So anything that you have in your craft room, like a paper pad. All right, now I happen to have a whole stack of paper pads and things, and these are probably going back about 5 years old now. They haven't been used for quite a while, and I thought I'd drag them out today and have a go with them. The other thing that I'm going to be using is some digital printable stash. So because I do a lot of digital printables, and this is the printable that you get with the summit. So when you sign up to the summit, you get this for free, and it's a celebration card printable. So it's really, really good for birthdays and anniversaries that are special occasions. But I wanted to show you how I organize my scraps for this. So I'm just going to flip to my desk now so that you can see down here what's happening on my desk. So let's have a try of that. All right, now, to be honest, I need to say that crafting with your stash is going to be quite messy. And I've got like a huge pile of stuff here that I've had to dig out of the cupboard. So you are going to be dealing with a little bit of a mess. So you'll see that my desk is a bit messy at the start because I have, sort of tried to get a little head start on today's class. This is how I store my printable scraps. when I've finished with a printable, I usually print out the front cover of the printable. You don't have to print it on cardstock, you can just do it on paper so that I know which printable it is. And then in here I put all of my leftover scraps. Now, I've also put in here the cards that we make in my class in the card making stash summit, which is this happy 40th anniversary card and this happy 50th birthday card. So this is the free printable that you do receive, and you can craft along with me to make these exact cards in the summit. Today, however, we're not going to be making those exact cards because you'll already see that in the summit. They also come with matching envelopes. But today we're going to be looking at using up some of the scraps that are left over from the printable. And there's not actually a huge amount of scraps, but we're going to be doing something even trickier than just using up scraps, because I personally find using up scraps quite difficult. We're actually going to team them with a paper pad that we have in our craft room. And so this is a little bit of a challenge for me because I don't often do this. I actually don't mix and match things very much because I find it more difficult. So if I have just a printable ready to go, or a, like a paper pad and some ephemera ready to go that is matching, I find that a lot easier to craft with. So today I'm setting myself a challenge to use up my scraps from a printable and also to combine that with, paper that I have already purchased and is sitting in my craft room. Now, I just wanted to show you my little box here that I've dug out of. This is where I got this notepad from. So this is all of these really, really old scraps that I've got in my craft room. So there's a notepad, a 6x6 card making pad in there, and there's also some cut out ephemera. And this is sitting in my craft room not getting used. So as you can see, there's quite a bit here, and the bags are actually starting to go yellow. So you can tell that it's quite a bit old. So that's what I'm trying to sort of get through. And I've chosen this paper pad here because it's similar color scheme to this. So for me, if I'm going to be mixing things together, I need to have a similar color scheme. Sorry, I just realized I hadn't looked at any comments. Sorry. So thank you for those people that are commenting, and thank you to everybody that is here. So I can see quite a few people here. So I really appreciate you for being here. So anyway, so what I wanted to do was combine the scraps from my printable with a paper pad that, has been sitting in my stash. I've got some little cutouts here as well. Now, I think you'll agree that probably some of these scraps could probably make their way to the bin. And so, you might find that when you're going through your scraps and you're thinking, oh, look, was it really necessary for me to save, like something like this? But you can see I've cut out one of those leaves, so I obviously thought this was worth saving. They are nice leaves, but going back now, I'm wondering whether that was really, maybe I could clean out a little bit while I'm here. So I had a little play. Now I wanted to sort of say that I really do think that creating with scraps is harder. So when you're doing it and when you're settling down to have a little try at this, I want you to be a little bit patient with yourself, because I think it is more challenging than just using something brand new. So, and like I didn't have much time to prepare for this class. I was doing a lot of other things, and typically in my, I'm a little bit of a procrastinator. So, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning here. So I think I woke up at about 4:30 and I thought I better just see if I can put something together on a card. Now, the first card that I made, look, I don't really like it. You know what? I'm sort of like, it's not great. And I was thinking to myself, like, people could get a little bit disenchanted and think this is not going to work. But what I want to say is that don't feel that your first card, is you're going to get better with each card you do. So don't lose faith over the first card, which I could have done because, like I look at this card and I'm like, yeah, it's okay, but I don't love it, right? So, but that's just my first card. So thanks, Ardith. I can see Ardith here. I can see Wendy here. Thank you so much for coming and crafting with me today. Sharon agrees that it is more difficult because you want to match the colors. I'm glad, Sharon, you feel the same. I do feel it a little bit difficult. Karen says the hardest part is finding coordinating elements, and I tend to avoid kits with lots of things. The printable paper is available to free ticket holders. You most certainly can get it for free. I think you have to just wait until the day the class goes live, which is day 2, and then you'll see the printable. So yeah, this was my second card, and like I like it a little bit better because I'm learning from the first card and remembering that I am trying to just use up scraps, right? So this card's not going to be, like this card is I'm happy with because I use the whole printable and I really like it. But this one, I'm just sort of getting used to the mixing of the two things. So let's get started. And I'm sorry my desk's a mess. Unfortunately, I am a messy crafter and I just have a small space here. So everything, it does look a little bit messy. So I'm sorry for that. So in my card making room, I found these old cutouts. I think I did a kit or something and I had this much paper left over from a 12 by 12 and I thought I would save those for a card. So I found these. I also found these old card bases that I haven't used, and I kind of know why I haven't used them is because they've got this fancy edge, which is really nice, but it can sometimes be a bit difficult to card make with, so that's why they're still there in my stash. So keep in mind that things are possibly in your stash for a reason. There might be something that you don't 100% like about it, and so it might just be that little bit difficult to create with. Rita says she is a messy scrapper too, and she always takes up a lot of space when crafting. Hello Marianne, and hello Angel. She's found some of those card bases. Okay, you've got them too. The goal is to make something, not be a neatnik. That's right, Karen. So yeah, so I found some card bases that are in my stash. These were just waiting to be used, so I thought great opportunity to use these up. I'm using this really old paper pad. It's a beautiful, beautiful paper pad, but it is quite old now. I feel like it could be at least 5 years old. I'm going to choose like a busy page because there's going to be less for me to fill in. If I pick a plain page, it's going to be more work for me. So I'm going to choose a fairly busy page. Now, the other thing I do like to do is, if I'm struggling a little with cards, is ink my edges. So I have got my little ink pad here. You can use any ink you like. I found that really helps to tie things in. So these measure 4 1/4. So I'm just going to cut this piece of paper here to 4 1/4. I think I'm going to go with that side there. Sharon says 5 years. 5 years is not old. I have paper 20 years old in my stash. Wow. Look, I did get rid of a lot of paper. You're gonna all scream at me, but I don't keep a lot of scraps. I know you probably don't think that now you've seen what I've shown you, but I don't actually keep a lot of scraps like a lot of crafters do. I know some crafters, really coordinate their scraps and keep very small scraps. I'm actually not one of those people. So you can hold that against me if you like. If something is not working for me, I tend to just get rid of it because I feel that it's a creative block. So that's a little bit controversial, I guess, to be saying this at the stash, a stash busting tutorial here. But yeah, because I've been crafting now, I've probably been crafting for about 17 years, I think. I've had little kids most of that time. I haven't had a lot of time in the past to craft, so when I do craft, I really like to make it worthwhile. So if there's something difficult that's not working for me, I don't want to waste my time with it. So that's why I traditionally don't do a lot of scrap work. So these papers, as you can see, are back to back. So you could either go like the plain or the busier version of this paper. I think I'm going to go with the plain. This is just the scrap that comes off that, when you cut it at 4¼ inches, a 6-inch paper pad, this is the remaining piece. So I like to, one of my trusted sort of card sketches is just to use that piece there. You don't want to keep that little scrap really. You want to use it on the card when you're going, you're using the papers that coordinate with that. So Rosalie says she's hoping to be crafting at 90. Absolutely. I hope to be crafting at 92. Oh, Joy says that, sorry. We all want to be crafting at 90, I think. I've got a comment here. It says, it becomes overwhelming if you don't thin the herd. Yes, of my paper crafting materials, scraps beget scraps. I agree. Marianne says during COVID, she trimmed all her scraps to a 4x6 card and trashed the little pieces. That's a good idea too. Yeah, we don't need to be sort of drowning in it, do we? So that's the base of the card done, and then for the inside, I usually like to decorate the inside. Oops, I'll just see whether I can find a blank enough piece of paper that we could write over the top. I do believe, that one there would be fine. So let's have a go at that. So Justine's putting on the comment, if you want to upgrade your paid ticket and get the printables now, head to this link. So the advantages of the paid ticket is that you can get in straight away. So you don't have to wait. Now, a lot of summits don't do that. Some summits do not do that. Some summits wait until a certain date and then let you in. But with Justine's summit, as soon as you pay your ticket, if you buy your ticket, you get in straight away. So what that means is that you get a massive head start on all the classes. So I'm actually already in there going through the classes myself and trying to comment on any comments. And I can tell you that it's a much more relaxed feeling to be able to do it at your own pace than have to do it on the free ticket in a hurry, because we all have other commitments. And, I look at it a little bit like professional development. Like if you are doing a job, if you're working, you've got to do professional development. This is kind of like professional development for card making, except way more fun. You deserve this for yourself. to go in there and see all those ideas. There's some fabulous classes in there for using up scraps. I just saw in the Facebook group, I saw quite a few people making Erin Reed's card. That looks awesome. I want to try that. There was another one in there too that I saw. I've watched Justine's class. I've watched a few classes in there, and I can tell you that they are very inspiring. So if you are interested, you can sign up for the paid ticket. All right, so now we're going to, I've got the 30th here. I thought maybe we could make this a 30th card. Let me just see if I can straighten that up a bit. Oh, it's just slightly crooked there, guys. The 30th, now what I like to do with these is cut out this little bit here. This is from the printable. In the printable you get all the numbers. You know, what you can make any number. But also there's like the main birthdays, 30th, 50th, etc. You can cut these out on your Cricut, or you can cut it out on your Silhouette machine, and you can also cut it out on a scan and cut machine, or you can cut it out by hand. So it's up to you as to how you want to cut. Jeffrey Kitt says, I have a hard time covering up beautiful backgrounds, which stops me from using some of my paper pads, but I love layered cards from other people. Yes, I know. I understand that. I like layered cards. I'm a huge layering in my previous life. Before I started printables, I was very, very big on layers. I really enjoy them. Mary says, there are so many summits out there when you are not working. Yes, I understand, Mary. This one though, I know this sounds silly, but Justine's summits are very, very good. What is the cost? Yeah, Justine will know that, what the cost is. She might put it up for us. The other advantage is you get to have it there all the time as well, so you can come back at any time. But yeah, I mean, Justine's got some of the best card makers in the world on this summit as well. I know we do a lot of summits at the moment. Justine says everyone is offered a $45 price for 30 minutes after signing up as an incentive to jump on the ticket. Pat says Justine's paid ticket is worth it if you can afford it. You definitely get your money's worth and can go back to the classes whenever you want after the summit ends. And then the price goes up to $55, yeah. So anyway, back to the card. So we've got the 30th here. Now, one of the things that I often do when I am, you know, just kind of trying to combine different layers is just I use a little bit of this cheesecloth underneath, or butter muslin. So yeah, I like to put this in. Justine's saying grab your free ticket. You can always sign up for free. Okay, it doesn't have to cost you anything. So yeah, if you wish to sign up for free, just sign up for free, and then you get to see all of the crafts, all of the classes, but you just have to watch it on that exact day, which is fine. You just go through and plan, just go through and plan which class you want to watch the most, and you just watch those, and then if you get extra time, then you watch other people's after that. I do that all the time with some summits, but it is nice to get the full experience with a paid ticket. Laura Klein says, I agree. I've tried a lot of summits and Justine's is worth the upgrade. Justine explains things so well, you know, like she really breaks it down. So in this summit, we're doing 3 different days. And I'm just trying to remember what each day is, but day 1 I think is use your scraps. Day 2 is transform your card from a beginner card to an intermediate card, which is what the class I did. And then there's day 3, which I'm not sure, but each day has a specific theme. So a lot of, she's just putting in the comments, day 1 using up paper, day 2 beginning to immediate, and day 3 double the cards. Yep. So we're kind of doing the double the card thing here, where we're making one design and we're doubling it up. So once you've come up with a design that you like, don't just start again, right? So use that same thing and repeat it. If it worked for you, repeat it, sort of thing. So that's what day 3 is. So a lot of summits don't go to the effort of actually categorizing the days, and like behind Justine Summits, there's like this real, I don't know, like purpose. There's like a purpose to her summits. It's not just let's do another summit kind of thing. So if you are going to choose a summit, I would recommend choosing one of hers. And that's just my honest feelings. You know, I'm not sort of trying to sell it to you or anything. Missy Moo says, just did 2 classes and got my money with worth of the $45. Only 27 more classes to go. I know, like, it's huge. If you can get through all of those classes and watch every single one, I take my hat off to you. But the thing is that you've got that as long as you need. So you can go and do it at any time when you're needing a little bit of inspiration. Let's just say you're struggling, you need something, right? You can then hop onto someone's class, and because this is all based on your stash, you don't need to buy things. You can just hop onto someone's class, get the inspiration, and then transform that to what you've got in your craft room. Sandra says, where'd you find the corner elements? These are like, I think you can get these off AliExpress. So they're very cheap, but I really like these when I'm working with gold patterns, like gold papers, and also if I'm sort of struggling to fill in a card. Plus they look really nice on mini albums as well. Charlene says, what type of glue are you using? For my paper, I'm using art glitter glue. For any embellishments, I'm using the Nouveau glue, because I just find that doesn't stick that great for embellishments. Susan's saying, should I print your printables on cardstock? Yes. You can. You don't have to, but it's 250 GSM, the number 30, because otherwise it would be too flimsy in my opinion. So I've just printed this on paper. That's just really flimsy, but these are actually cardstock. You know, you want something a little bit thicker. Hi Teresa. Angela, sorry. Angela says art glitter has been her favorite glue for many years. It is a good one. Sally says, I'm new at this. Are your resources listed? I think they are listed. I'm pretty sure I listed them. So, yeah. So in my little scrap bag here, I've got some happy, and I'm going to find a birthday. Now I do think that my parents' wedding anniversary is like the next, I think it might be tomorrow. So, you know, I was thinking I should probably do them an anniversary card. I'm pretty sure they're up to 49, so maybe I should just do a 50th and then just save it for next year, because I'll definitely be needing one next year. Teresa says, I always look for your class when there is a summit. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you so much. There's a lot of effort that goes into these summits, I tell you. Jenny says, my parents' anniversary is tomorrow. Yeah, like, I can't believe my parents are going to be married 50 years tomorrow. That's amazing, right? Not tomorrow, next year. Tomorrow, next year. They're up to 49 this year. I didn't have an anniversary kind of set, and I actually made this in mind. I made this for when I was making this printable. Jenny says 47 for hers. I was thinking about my auntie. So when I was like 5, I was a flower girl for my auntie's wedding. And, you know, she reminds me of it. She's like, you were our flower girl, you know. And which is very special. Like, it's very special to be a flower girl at somebody's wedding. So I think it was their 40th, came up this year. And I have it in my phone to try to remember to message them. And it came up in my phone, and I messaged her, and then I thought I should make her a card because 40th is like pretty special. And so I actually designed this printable with her in mind, and I did make the card, right? Here it is here. Where is it? But I've never sent it. This is it. So maybe after the summit, I might send it to her and just say, look, sorry it's late, but this was made especially for you. So yeah, I just thought to myself, I often get asked to make a 50th, or like one of our homeschool friends, she just turned 40. She had a lunch, and you know, everyone was like, what should we get her? Should we get her flowers? Blah, blah, blah. I said, well, I can do the card. You know, then I went home and I'm like, I need a 40th thing to put on a card. And I struggle to find them. Like my stickers, like I always use all the zeros. And when I go to my zeros, they're all empty. I'm like, I need a printable where I can just print off the number and add it to a card. Sharon's celebrating her 60th in September. Jenny says, send it, better late than never. I think so too. I was kind of like, I can't really send it because I'll need it for the summit, but once the summit's over, I can probably explain to her and say, it is belated, but it's funny. Suzette, everyone just wrapped up with work. Oh, she's wrapped up with work. That's okay. So there we go. I put the happy birthday on the top and bottom. I'm just going with this design today because, you know, it seems to be working for me. And then if you want to add the TH, you can. If I can find the TH. Just look in my little scraps here. I may not have one. Obviously I can print more off if I need it, because that's the good thing about printables. You can just print them off. Again, I can't see it. Oh, I forgot to do something that I did in this card. In this card, I actually added one of the strips. This little strip here, I added that as an extra. Silly me. I'm talking too much and I'm not concentrating. Oh, Christy says, if you have a picture of you as the flower girl, you should add that to the inside of the card. Makes it very special. That's a nice idea. I'll have to ask my mum to get me one. So I should have put that in there, which was just an extra strip. That's all right. I'll do it on the next one. Now, the other thing you can do is add some embellishments like some sequins, and you know, I cannot for the life of me find my sequins. I know I had them. I was cleaning up and I put them somewhere and I cannot find them. But if you can't find something, you can just use something else. So we could use, you know, we could add like a little one of these. Like, they're very nice, aren't they? Sort of like this diamante kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, whether we should add them or not. They're quite sparkly. Let's add them. Let's use up our stash. So I always try to add these little sparkly things in a group of 3, just to make it easier, because I always wonder where should I put them. And you know, they say groups of 3, so let's go with 3. All right, so that's that one done. I think that's quite pretty. I'm sad that I forgot to put that little bit on there, but that looks okay. So you can see we are making progress here. I've made 3 cards already at 6:30 in the morning. Like, I am on fire, right? Oh dear. Let's do one more. Let's see if I can do this. Now, these have always challenged me, these things, because of this, like, I am challenging myself today, right? I hope you're challenging yourself. Who's crafting along? Sharon says, bust the stash. Linda says, love the added jewels. Christy says, love the big numbers. Karen says, I can almost always find things, but not when I want them. That is so true. Like, I have a little jar of sequins and, gosh, they were here like 2 days ago. So, all right, I'm going to try this hard one here. So let's pick another page from our card pad. I mean, we've got so much paper here, right? It's going to take me a while to use all this up. One that I haven't used yet. Did I use that one? I don't think so. They all look very similar. Now, I think these are 4 1/4. They're close, they're not quite. Let's just measure. So I have this goal to go through every class in the summit and pull out some stash and see if I can create a card using every class in the summit. Like, it's a little unrealistic, but wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it be fun if that was all you had to do, would just be, go through and, oh gosh, my stash, like, I need to get rid of some things. I need to declutter. I have lots and lots of beautiful things that I love, but I kind of know I'm never going to use them. So I would love to do that. Lynn says she has the same goal. Oh, Lynn, let me know how you go with it. Joyce says that's a great goal. So what I used to do with these cards was I'd just glue that on and then I'd trim around it to see if I just fussy cut that off. And it does actually look really, really pretty when it's done. What do I do with the cards? Christine's saying, what do you do with the cards you make if you don't have a specific person you are making the card for? Well, I have a big box of cards. Well, I've got several boxes actually. There's a couple of things you can do with them. We have a great organisation in Australia that it's called Homemade Cards for Seniors. You can send them your cards and they will give them to people in nursing homes. So that's one thing you can do with it. You can give away them to your mum. I often think I should just give my mum like a whole stack of cards. Yeah, I keep a lot of them and I just dig through them when I need them. Kim's asking me if I ever use the scan and cut machine. I do. I love my scan and cut machine. I find it really easy to use because I'm not overly technological. Justine says she wraps them in a 10-pack and gives them as Christmas gifts. That's a good idea too. I'm not overly technological, if that's a word, so I can struggle with electronic cutting machines. However, the scan and cut I love because it's very basic. The only downside is that the image has to have an outline around it often. So, for example, if I took that page there and I wanted my scan and cut to cut that all out, it wouldn't work because like the flower petals are too soft. It probably wouldn't pick up the light globes, Anything that doesn't have sort of like a contrasting image wouldn't scan. So for my printables, like you'll often see I do like an edge around it. So you'll see on this one it's got the gold edge. That will mean that the scan and cut can pick that up and cut it out for you. So it is actually really fast. It's way faster than fussy cutting, but you do sometimes make the sacrifice of having an outline around the image, just depending on the colors. Sometimes that can be a little bit frustrating because you don't want a line around the image. But yeah, it just depends on the colors that you use. Which scan and cut do you have? I have, hang on, check. SDX 1000, brother. So when I bought it, I think it was 2 years ago, it was the only scan and cut we could get in Australia. So that was the only choice. And that made it really, really easy. I know that in the States you have a lot more choices. I think they're all basically the same. Yeah. Versus Cricut. So the Cricut is finicky in my opinion. I mean, I have my son who helps me, so if I get into trouble, I can get him to help me, which has helped me a lot. The Cricut will cut out any image, so you do not need that line around it. So if you wanted to cut out, like you couldn't cut out a notepad, you couldn't put that in and cut that out, but let's just say you had a digital image that was like that, it'd cut it out without needing the border. Yeah, the Cricut does not scan, that's right. Kinser Crafts says she loves her scan and cut, she doesn't buy dies anymore. No, I don't buy dies anymore either. I think I have a really bad die cutting machine because I hate die cutting. It's too hard for me to get it through the machine. I think I actually need a new die cutting machine. I have lots of dies, but I don't buy them anymore. Alright, so I'm just going to put that on top and then I'm just going to cut that off again for this. What color is the ink you are using? Alright, so this is such an old ink. It's called Bark. I don't think you can get it anymore. But if you've got Tim Holtz vintage photo, that would work. Or anything else that you've got at home is totally fine. It's just like I actually really like this color, which is why I'm still using it, even though like it's a Kaisercraft ink, which is an Australian brand, and they don't make them anymore. But at the time, I bought a lot of them. Like I've got a stash of them. They're very cheap, $2.50 or something. So they're not an expensive ink, but you can't get them anymore. Linda says she has PTSD from my die cutting machine. No matter what kind of sandwich I make, it won't go through. You sound a bit like me, Linda. Tamara says she loves her Gemini Junior and uses it almost exclusively. Yeah, I think you've got to get a good one so that you don't have to sort of like really reef it through. Mine needs replacing, I think. Kathy says she likes making cards for people at church that cannot get out. Makes them feel part of the congregation and special. Lady Appaloosa says she likes the bottom edge and will try to do that with the Cricut. She just got a Juliet, but has to practice more with it. Rosalie says the video is fun. Excellent. Yeah, it's all about practice. I found with the scan and cut that there wasn't a lot of practice needed. It just worked easily for me, so I like that. And it cuts out circles really, really well. You don't actually have to use your laptop at all. So with like the Cricut and the Silhouette, you've got to connect your laptop and all of that. Well, as far as I know, you can't use it without. Whereas the Scan and Cut, you don't have to connect your laptop. You can just put the little piece of paper through and then it just cuts it out. It scans it and cuts it without connecting to your laptop. So yeah, that's a win for me. I really like that. All right, I'm going to use this little strip here because I forgot it on that other card, and this was part of my thing where I was trying to incorporate the printable and just normal scraps from your card making stash. So we'll just put that on there. So this is just a really simple sketch that you can use as the base for any card, right? So it doesn't have to have the numbers on that. It could have, you know, like if you're into die cutting, you could cut out a label or a sentiment, or if you're into stamping, you could add a stamp. Like you could stamp a really big flower on there and use that. And this could just be the base sketch that you use for your cards. I actually use this sketch a lot. I actually use this in another one of Justine's summits. Let me just see if I can find it. I saw it here the other day. This is it. This was a card I made for one of Justine's summits, I'm pretty sure, a card from a sketch. And you can see actually I've gone to a very similar design to this, where I've just done a strip and another strip, slightly different, but you know, it's very similar, and that's an really easy base for a card if you are looking for something. This is another printable. Let's just say you could even add like something like this on the front. That looks really pretty actually. Let me see what else I can find in this little bundle of scraps. I'm sort of going off the plan here. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I'm just trying to show you how you can use something else other than a number. You know, you can use whatever. It's a unicorn. Obviously this colors, I mean, even though it's not too bad really, the matching of these colors are different, but they've still got that kind of vintage. I actually like this one the best. I think that's really pretty. And then if I just, actually the edges are already inked on this, but let's just add a bit more. Lynn says she has some of these scraps. Karen, Cindy's looking for info on the group sending the cards to the soldiers. Can you cut everything in Design Space after you've printed everything? Yes, you can. So you're doing it as a print and cut. So you're going to, no, you have to print it through Cricut Design Space first, and then you cut it out in the Cricut. Lady Appaloosa says, loves that butterfly. Jeanette says, love your stuff. Thank you. Tammy says she made several cards with the unicorn cut out. Oh, okay. So lots of people have used that. All right, well, let's put the butterfly in. I'm just going to add a little bit of the cheesecloth butter muslin underneath. Of course, you don't have to. It's completely optional. I mean, really, like I could probably craft in here with my scraps for probably 20 years. I think I could. I don't think I would run out of stuff. But I mean, you know, it's always tempting to buy stuff, isn't it? And, you know, I'm always thinking up a new idea for a printable. Like yesterday, it was Australia Day here yesterday. And we put like some flags out the front, and we went to a barbecue. Like, one of the Australian traditions on Australia Day is to have a barbecue, so we ticked that. And then I'm like, I should make an Australia Day printable. So I did, but I mean, I didn't get it out in time to my people before the end of the day, but I'm always full of different ideas. Shannon says she has a stash beyond life expectancy for sure. Karen's asking, how long do these classes usually last? Okay, the live classes, I think they're an hour, so we probably will finish in the next 10 minutes, I think. I actually don't know how long they last. Justine's saying you can watch this class on replay until Saturday 11:59. Will this be included in the VIP? I think yes. I'm pretty sure it is because I've seen it on the VIP list. Well, it's a very impromptu class. Oh, Justine is saying yes. VIPs get lifetime access. It's a very impromptu class, and but it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. I actually really enjoy crafting live. It makes me a little bit nervous because, I think what's technology, and then what if I can't think of something to make, and all of those things. But it's fun, right? I'm just going to add a bit of glue onto those because the cheesecloth needs a little bit of glue just to hold it down. All right, well, I've steered away from the number cards, and I'm just going to make this like a little birthday card. So this is just a bit different. That's okay. You're probably getting sick of the other one anyway. And I'm just going to try to find, under all this mess, a little bit of sticky, here we go, a little bit of this tape, and just put the little birthday sentiment on there. Marianne says, I'm doing a beautiful job for so early in the morning. Thanks, Marianne. I appreciate that. Woody says, love that you found the butterfly. My favorite so far, lucky find. I agree, but can I just say, like, that is what I think when you're doing your stash thingies. Like, your first card's gonna be a bit meh, probably, and then you're gonna get in the flow of it, and it's just going to get easier and easier. That's what I believe about you working with your stash. Like, it is a challenge. For me, it is a challenge. Like, I just think, I've said it before, I just think it's easier to work with new stuff than old stuff. I find new stuff more inspiring. But, when you've got things like this here, you might as well use them. Thank you. I'm not sure. Lelatus says, so beautiful. I love all your cards. Thank you. Donna, hello from Melbourne. Well done. Getting up early, Donna. Missy Moose says, you're making it look easy. Oh, thank you. Elizabeth says, her cards seem juvenile. Oh, look, it's just, yeah, sometimes we are our own worst critics, like, we're harder on ourselves than anybody else's. Charlene agrees. I agree. Well, just maybe try inking your edges a little bit. Sometimes that extra vintage look can, take it from looking juvenile to not juvenile, like aged kind of thing. Now, Carla is saying only 234 likes. Who hasn't hit the like button? Please, everybody hit the like button. Justine, it's on Justine's channel, and like, Justine's got like 1 million followers. So if we hit the like button, it should get it out there a little bit. Justine has just had a brand new baby, right? She's got a newborn and she's putting on this summit. Like, I take my hat off to her because I don't know Thank you. People are hitting the like button. Thank you. I don't know how she does it with a newborn. Like I couldn't. I can't even organize a summit without a newborn. So, like to be able to organize a summit and have a newborn, like no one can do that. Like Justine says this is the first night she hasn't screamed all evening, so thanks for your soothing voice. Oh my goodness. Our neighbours across the road, they've got they've technically got 5 children, two from like the first marriage and then 3 from the second marriage. And when I went to their house, I was just like, oh my God. Like, it takes you back, like my boys are 13 and 9. So I'm past the baby stage now. And oh my God, like you forget so quickly. It is like, yeah, I just take my hat off to anybody that crafts with a newborn, and yeah, it's just amazing. Well, I actually really like that card. That's actually probably my favorite too, because, even though that edge does sort of turn me off using it, like that looks really pretty. And I can't believe how well that butterfly matched in with those cards. Like the completely just pulled that out of nowhere. But yeah, like I think let's have a look at the 3 of them and see how I kind of improved as I went, right? So here's my first card, and I did have the idea like, oops, I've got this huge stash of flowers multiplied by 20 glasses over there full of glass jars with flowers that I haven't used for a while. So I did have the idea of, maybe I could use up some of my flowers. Yeah, like this card is okay, but yeah, it's all right. And then this one, I mean, this is actually quite a nice card if you did want a 60th birthday, because when you actually want, a number card, people want to see that number on the card, right? They don't want a 50th birthday card that looks like this. That's not a 50th or a 60th birthday card. They don't want that, right? So when you are after a specific number card, this is what people want. They want the number on the card. So I'm happy with this card. I've put it in my stash in case someone turns 60. But probably, yeah, this is my favorite. Now, butterflies are always going to win, right? Butterflies are easy. So if you are one of those people and you're thinking my cards look juvenile, have you considered trying butterflies? Because butterflies are the easiest thing on a card, like embellishment. There's actually a class in the summit. I forget the lady that did it, but she used butterflies on her card. Butterflies are easy. I didn't put it in my celebration printable, but I always put butterflies in my printables. So this is like a page here, because you can cut those out and you can add that as an embellishment to a card, and it fills in a little space. So they are really useful. Laura Klein says she loves the dark and light contrast. I do too. I really love that. The inked edges help combine everything together. So we've actually used 2 digital printables there and some paper from our stash to make that card. Jeanette says everything you do is amazing. Jeanette, that is so not true. Krista says I've used many of your blue and purple butterflies. Yeah, I try to make my printables have things that make card making easily. Okay, so we are going to wrap it up now. I'm sorry about the messy desk. I'll have to clean that up now, but thank you so much to everybody. Let me just switch cameras so I can actually see you again. See if I can manage to do that. Okay. Sorry that my craft room is a little bit dark. I had to turn off one light so that you don't get the flicker overhead. But beautiful, beautiful card making today. 7 o'clock in the morning, guys, and What an achiever. 3 cards. Yeah, I mean, I should do this every morning, right? Thank you so much for coming, and please sign up for the free summit, okay? Just even if you've never tried a summit before, I'm telling you, this is the summit to try. Justine Summits, I want to say they are the best. Like, I feel like I shouldn't say that, but I am thinking that, okay? So if you love card making and you want to do more of it, why not sign up for a free summit? And while you're there, check out my class. It's on day 2. You get a free printable. This is your free printable. You can follow along, and I can't even find my cards, but here they are. You can make these cards. They've got a matching envelope with it, so you can print out the envelope, put your card in there. You've got a beautiful card that you can make. Hello, Teresa. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. You will be getting an extra one of these, the full printable. So I will hopefully get that up very soon in the group. Yeah, so come along to the summit. Honestly, you've got nothing to lose. You will pick up a tip or two. Share your cards in the Facebook group. If you happen to make this, please, please, please share your card. Or if you make something from your stash from today's class, remember, your first card may not be your best, right? I've been a complete, you can see that clearly from me today, right? You can see that clearly from me today. Take your time, be kind to yourself. Remember that you are using your stash. That is the purpose of why you're here today, to create cards. You're using up your stash. And yeah, just enjoy it. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you when the summit starts. Bye for now.